This has not been an easy task. And as Stan mentioned, it started in 2011, and he's stuck with it. He has put his whole heart into this project. And he didn't mention, as of Thursday night, our meeting, because we really wanted to be able to roll this out on Veterans Day. It was very important that this got approved before Veterans Day. And as of Thursday night, last week at our monthly meeting, it had not been approved. And we were not going to get to make the announcement. And Friday, Stan called, and it's like a kid in a candy jar. You could hear it in his voice. And this means so much to him, it means so much to us, and it's very important that our community has a lasting legacy as well. So would you please join me in giving Stan another round of applause for making this. He kind of put it out there. But we're going to start the fundraising this evening. As he said, our target is to be able to have it up at a Memorial Day next week. So to start it out, what's next week? Is it next week?
He's really ambitious.
Yeah, we're next week. It's $20,000 for the whole thing, but we have to put $6,500 down for the project to get started. So tonight, any proceeds, all proceeds from that silent auction out there will automatically be transferred over into our AVER Monument Fund for this evening. So if you haven't had an opportunity, that is the first thing you can help us this evening. Buy that stuff, you know, Christmas. First of all, I don't want to have to load that stuff back in the car. I want to go home at a certain decent hour. So make sure when tonight's over with, we are going to keep that open a little longer this year, because that is a perfect way you can get some weird, quirky gifts for Christmas that's coming around the corner. But we are going to put all of those funds directly into the Monument Fund to help kickstart our campaign. And also Steve and Josh. You know, a lot of times, there's many of us that have a story about don't ask, don't tell. And many of us have told our story. Markel's here. Many of us tell our story, and we have traveled around the country. And some people have an opportunity to get a financial reimbursement for telling their story, and that's okay. But you have people like Steve and Josh who do this, and they travel, and they don't ask for anything in return for traveling and speaking. So they don't ask for a speaker fee and stuff like that. And so for groups like ours, it helps us a great deal. And we're humbled by that. So for them to turn around and then say the proceeds from the book this evening, they're going to kick it back into ours. So we're going to move that into the Monument campaign as well. So thank you, you two, for doing that as well. If you haven't considered buying some of that good stuff out there, you have time still. And if you would like to write a check this evening, go straight to the Monument Fund. You don't have to buy anything out there, but you can still, we'll be glad to take a check. It's very important to us that we get started on this right away. And we want to make sure that we leave a lasting legacy for those that come behind us. So we're going to move here real quick. But one thing is also that important I wanted to share with you guys. We definitely, in AVER, we pride ourselves on being a bipartisan group. And I wanted to be able to share a couple of stories this morning. We had the Veterans Day ceremony, and the governor was there and all the dignitaries, and we also had Governor-elect Amrana was in the audience. And I took the opportunity at the end of the night, and I thought it was very important. I took the opportunity to make my way right to the governor-elect. And I told the governor-elect, I said, I wanted to congratulate you on your win. I didn't vote for you, sir. but you are now the governor-elect. And I just would like to remind you, sir, You will be the governor of all of us. And all of us, I mean gay people like myself who are currently still serving in the military. We look forward to working with you and helping us all to make Illinois a better and brighter future. So I thought it was very important that I had that opportunity, I wanted to take it, and I wanted to say, we are here, don't forget about us, and we will work with you in every way we can to make sure we are moving forward and not backwards in the state of Illinois. And then I took that opportunity. It was very impersonal to me. As you know, Senator Kirk, when he was a congressman, voted time and time again against the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We spent time in his office. I feel like we're best friends. Markel and I are best friends with his ex-wife. She was in the office with him. And so we spent time and time again. And we all know he won President Obama's Senate seat in 2010. And we had that brief window of time. And many of us, and I had the opportunity to lead that team, many of us made thousands of phone calls during that 20-day or less window. And we'll never know what changed his mind, but Senator Mark Kirk, was one of the 6 Republican senators that voted to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. If it wasn't for him and those other Republican senators, I would not be serving today. So it is very important that we acknowledge that and support that. So I made every effort to once again go back up to Senator Kirk. I met him a couple of times and I thanked him again. But today I wanted to make sure he knew that I'm still in because of his vote, and I made it safely back from Afghanistan. So we must also remember we have people on both sides that support us, and we must thank them for it. So I look forward to the days ahead. We don't know what will happen here in Illinois, but we are willing to work with those who are willing to work with us, and so we'll move forward. We'll always be on guard, and we'll make sure that they know we are here. So we'll continue to work with that. So now we have some awards. Sorry if I'm keeping you guys here late, but we're going to keep going here right along. So Steve, will you please stand up? So we're going to present our Happy Warrior Award to Steve. Greetings to you, Major Steve Snyder-Hill, from all the members of the Chicago Chapter of American Veterans for Equal Rights on Veterans Day 2014. You have courageously served your country. You have spoken out in public functions for equal rights for LGBT service members alone, only to be booed by those who would never think of serving their country. You have continued the fight for equal rights and equal marriage in your home state of Ohio. Once a soldier and a fighter, always a soldier and a fighter. Your contributions not only to the civilian and military community, but to the community at large warrant recognition and remembrance. We are so proud of you, we salute you, and we honor you. And I'm very humbled and very thankful that both of you have come to Chicago and joined us. And I could not be more humbled to be part of your book that you have written. So thank you very much. Ed, would you come up, please? That's right. Greetings to you, Ed W. I've known her for years, so I don't even know. I can practice these last names over and over again. I still don't mess up. From all the members of the Chicago Chapter of American Veterans for Equal Rights on Veterans Day 2014. As Secretary of Chicago Chapter, you have completely overhauled and rewritten the Constitution and bylaws of the Chicago Chapter. You've designed and built the banner and superstructure for our entry into Pride Parade, and you have undertaken the task of purchasing, packing and mailing not one, but 2 care packages to our troops in Afghanistan. All these accomplishments were all done this year. We also want to recognize you for serving as a Secretary of AVER for so many years. Your contributions not only to the civilian and military community, but to the community at large warrant recognition and remembrance. We are so proud of you, we salute you, and we honor you. So anyway, side note, when I spent the last 14 months in Afghanistan, many of you know who are on Facebook with me, I begged, pleaded, and everything possible to get folks back home to send care packages for our troop. So several of you in the room, I'm going to recognize, I'm going to say Bernie over here, did it countless numbers of times. Sent us cookies, anything you can imagine. And it is it means the world. I know we have moved past snail mail, and most people have moved on to internet and all that, but mail still is important to troops, believe it or not. Physical mail is important. Care packages are even more important. So if you sent me a care package in our troops the last year, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I came home, I brought up to the group, hey, on the base that I was stationed on in Kandahar, Afghanistan, obviously the war is coming to a close. That means before I left in March, and remember, troops are still there. When I left in March, they were already closing our exchanges. That means our shops where we buy our hygiene products, and they sell us gadgets like music and stuff like that to help us pass time. Those were closing. So I asked the group if we could donate some of our funds to come up with care packages. They agreed. He did all the work, and it's not easy. So he went shopping, got it in the mail, and all that. So it means a great deal to me that you were willing to do that within a month of me being home. So thank you very much. Thank you for Don't worry, we'll get him back as the officer corps. So that said, speaking of care packages, if you got to see all the stuff out there where Steve and Josh were sitting for Steve's book signing, how many of you get the newsletter, the monthly newsletter from Jim? If you don't get it, please give us your address so we can share that newsletter with you every month. One of the things we're doing in November and December is we're sponsoring a military member that is stationed overseas. And that member is going to, hopefully, especially in November, is from the Chicago area. Might not necessarily be that member is gay or not, but it's still very important as we support our troops. Yeah. This month in November, we put it in the newsletter. There's also a little article of his name is Specialist Mike Nixon. He is from the Chicago suburbs. He is currently stationed in Korea. He is not coming home for the holiday. He's been there since February. He hasn't been home. He's not coming home until February of this year. And when he has his 30 days leave, and then he'll move on to his next duty station, which is scheduled to be Fort Hood right now. But he's not going to be home for the holidays. So if you have the means, his address, his picture is there. Please write down his address and send him a care package. Know this, when you send an individual a care package, doesn't mean that individual is keeping everything that you send them to themselves. That is a point of contact, and that person will obviously share with every member in his unit, just like I did when I was in Afghanistan, and like we've done with all our groups as we send these packages. So please consider, sending a care package to Mike. The cool thing about Mike, his job right now over in Korea, he's the postal clerk in his unit. So he's going to be the first one. He's going to be the first one to get the care package, and he's going to know. He's going to share with everyone, but he's going to know, because he's been over there for a year, who those troops are that aren't getting any mail from home. And those are the people he's probably going to go to first. Because believe it or not, there are people that do not get stuff from home. So please consider doing that this evening. All right, we have one more award due.
Stand front and center. With great pleasure and pride, the Chicago chapter of AVER presents its Happy Warrior Award to Stanley Jenczyk of the U.S. Navy. I was not the wordsmith for this, by the way. Greetings to you, Stanley Jenczyk, from all the members of the Chicago chapter of American Veterans for Equal Rights on Veterans Day 2014. You have courageously undertaken the task of creating a permanent monument to honor LGBT veterans in the Chicagoland area at the Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery in Elwood, Illinois. You have made multiple visits to ALNC, met with a number of cemetery officials, written too many letters to mention, and solicited assistance from a number of our elected officials. After 3 years of continuous encounters, most people would have given up. But your perseverance, tenacity, dedication, and determination have finally borne fruit. Thanks to you, this will be the first monument in this country with the words, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender veterans in a national VA cemetery. Your dedication to this project has been astounding. We are so proud of you. We salute you and we honor you. You are truly a happy warrior. Chicago chapter of AVER.
Alrighty, so we're almost done.